In this video, we're going to take a look at finding intervals where a function is increasing or decreasing, and specifically we're going to be looking at a graph. So when you're looking at a graph, as we have here, the first thing you want to identify are any places where our graph has what we call turning points. That's where it has either a maximum or a minimum, where our graph turns around. So we can see we've got one right here on the y-axis. We've got a maximum there. We've got a minimum point at two different places. And other than that, in between those points, our graph is going to be always increasing or always decreasing. We call that term monotonic. So monotonic means always increasing or always decreasing. Some people refer to this finding the intervals where it's increasing or decreasing as the monotonicity of a function. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is look at this piece of the graph to the left of our first point. And to find the interval for that piece, what we're going to do is we're going to look in and zoom in just on the x-axis at that point. And that point has an x value of -4. It doesn't matter what the y value is, because when we're looking for intervals of increasing and decreasing, we're only looking at the independent variable. So we're only looking at x. So we're going to always use the x value. So that function, as we move from left to right, all of this is always going to be from left to right. As we move from left to right, that graph is going down. So that would be a decreasing portion of the graph. And the interval for that, we're going to assume that there are arrows at the end of this because there is not a closed circle. We're going to assume that it continues going on in that same direction. So it's going to be decreasing from -infinity all the way up to -4. And then if we look at the point of the graph in between that minimum and our next point on the graph at the maximum there at the y-axis, that function, as we move from left to right, our graph is going up. So that is a place where the graph is increasing. And again, we're going to look at our x values. The x values here start, our smallest x value is -4. We are going to always include parentheses on these because we cannot be increasing or decreasing at a point. So we will always use parentheses when we're identifying the intervals of increasing and decreasing. And that's going to go all the way until we get to this point up here at our maximum, which is going to have an x value of 0. And then once we get past that point, we are back to decreasing. The graph is going down again as we move from left to right. We're always looking as we move from left to right. And that one is going to be from the x value of 0 to our minimum here is at the x value at 4. So it's going to be decreasing on the interval from 0 to 4. And then our last piece, it's back to increasing. And we go to that arrow, meaning it's going to continue going that way forever to the right. So it's back to increasing at the point from 4 all the way to +infinity. One way you can check, first of all, make sure that you're always using the x values, but a little red flag is if you have these intervals overlapping. They will never overlap. I'll see you guys next time.